Okay, now I want to introduce our keynote speaker, Reverend Lucius Barrios. Luis is a veteran of many Pastors for Peace campaigns. He's been in the trenches, and he's going to inspire us with his stories of surmounting the obstacles and bringing together the strength that we need to bring the Cuban people and the American people together and overcome that blockade.
Amén. Así. Gracias.
De nada.
Thank you very much. Good evening. Buenas noches. Bonsoir. It's good to be here. It's good to see you from so many places you can be tonight. You make a decision that you want to be here. Means a lot to us. Okay? Thank you for your love. Thank you for your hospitality. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for opening the doors to share with us. I am in the journey of reconnecting with everybody, including God, okay, and all my Orishas. So thank you for being here. And the way I'm going to try to do this, I'm going to talk not too much, and then I'm going to open the floor, okay? So that way we can exchange knowledge, experience, and also we can debate ideas, which is very important. But at the end, the most important part is going to be, what are we going to do? So we don't spend too much time talking with this intellectualization. Is the whole issue of what I'm supposed to do and how is that we're going to do these kind of things. Amen. Good. Okay, so I always like to start with an idea. Where is that we are? Let me start by saying that whatever happened in Cuba, we always learn that Cuba is a revolution in motion. There is an office in the Pentagon, which is a very interesting office, that they had the responsibility to learn about what the hell Cubans are doing in Cuba so we can interfere and do all kinds of things. What they always complain is that can take 6 or 8 months to learn what is that the Cubans are doing, and then after 8 months, the Cubans change the rules of the game. And then they have to start again. Okay, I think that the Cubans, yes, they do it with all intention, but they are very dynamic, reinventing. They have to do it with this incredible blockade from one of the most powerful countries in the world against this small island. So yes, they always need to find a way how to fight back. And sometimes what is powerful is your persistence, the way you manage to do things and find things to be done. So, in addition to that, the Cuba is a revolution in motion. Well, today is the anniversary of Afonso, father who departed, liberation from his body 5 years ago. Okay, so we are with you, my brother, okay, in solidarity. We always say that we are ready to let people go, but it's also in theory. When the reality hit us, that's when we become aware that emotions are more powerful than theories. But also, do you know that today is Ernesto Che Guevara's birthday? So he was born June 14, 1928 in Argentina. So we also celebrating that kind of legacy in this place today. So we are Pastor for Peace. In Pastor for Peace, we do things in a way that I was listening to people saying that when this new approach that Trump is bringing for the new intensity travel ban, there are 12 different forms to go to Cuba without getting in trouble. Okay? We have one so you can get in trouble. Civil disobedience. That's the one that we use. That's it. Why? Because we are organized in a way that with all intention, we break a law that we understand is immoral. It's not correct. So that's why when we come back, that they want to see the license that authorize us to go to Cuba, we always respond the same way. Love is my license. Okay? This is a people-to-people revolution. So we are from the U.S. We say that this is a democracy, so let's go to Cuba. Why you need to stop me? That really created a big tension to people with uniform that they don't want to hear that kind of articulation. And especially when you go there with this attitude, if you want to arrest me, you can arrest me. Because the first time I heard this that I want to share with you was in 1992. Do you know that we are going to give you $250,000 fine and 5 years in prison? Yes, do it. 1992. Every year they tell me the same nonsense. Every year I go into ask him, listen, when is that you going to arrest me? He said, no, we're not going to do it because you're going to create some kind of political maneuver here and we're not going to give you that opportunity. He said, oh, so you're talking nonsense here. Okay, well, they told me to tell you this to see if we can discourage you, but there's no way that we can discourage you. You means Pastor for Peace. Oh, I'm glad that you already know where it is that we stand in. And from the legacy of people like Martin Luther King, Mahatma Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, Rigoberta Menchú, the issue of civil disobedience is a moral obligation that you have. You break a law that is unfair, is unjust, and that's it. Because always the oppressor have a way to legalize oppression. And just because it say there, you're not supposed to do this, I'm not supposed to follow you, if I understand, that is correct. That is incorrect. Okay? So that is what we do in Pastor for Peace. What is that we are fighting? Listen, we are fighting USA foreign policy. In order to understand this particular concept that sounds a little intellectual, let me put this in rice and beans in a way that we can digest this and we do not get traumatized, okay? What is unique with the U.S. is that we in the U.S. build foreign policy with domestic policy, with something that is important for us, which is whatever is good for us is good for everybody else. Which means I don't need to go out asking people what is good for you, because if it's good for me, I understand that it's good for you. Okay? And for that reason, we can go into a U.S. Congress and say, do you know what the Cuban people need? They need a blockade. Do we need to talk to them? No, because we know that this is good for us, so that means it's good for them. Okay, this is how in the 19th century the U.S. developed something that we call Monroe Doctrine. Someone knows what is the Monroe Doctrine? Or want to share?
Latin America's our background.
Oh, I hate to hear that, but it's true.
Yeah.
Okay, this is exactly. This is in legal documents. They declare that we, Latin American country, we are the backyard of the U.S. But not only that, they also went into sending through the Monroe Doctrine a message to European countries. Hey, listen, you, European countries, you do not come into this part of the world stealing, doing regime change, colonizing, killing or enslaving people, whatever oppression is that you're going to do. You are not going to do it, and we are not going to allow you to do it. Any idea why?
The U.S. wants to do it.
Because we're going to do it. That is simple. So it's not that we are against colonizing. It's not that we are against doing regime change. It's not that we are against stealing countries' resources. It's that we are the one doing that. Point. That's it. So do not interfere with any country here. And I'm trying to emphasize this because you know that Trump came to the United Nations last year, and for the first time someone there to mention Monroe Doctrine in the United Nations. And the way he put it was incredible. He said, what Cuba is doing is going inside Venezuela and violating everything in Venezuela. So they violating the Monroe Doctrine. He said, wow, I'm not really sure who came up with this type of analysis, but you know that some people specialize in stupidities. Okay? And this is one of those. So, Monroe Doctrine. But they say, what about if together with the Monroe Doctrine, we apply something that we call the dollar policy? Well, this is a capitalist society. In a capitalist society, money is the most important factor. It's not people. It's money. The production of money. In other words, if we are going to put a hospital here, it's not because we care about providing medical care. It's because we're going to make money selling medical care. If we're going to open a school in the other side, it's not because we are in the journey of educating people. No, we are in the business of making money, so we're going to sell education so we can get money. Sounds terrible. You don't like it? Change it. That's why I'm 100%, or probably a little more, anti-capitalist. Okay? Goes against all my values as a Christian. So I'm fighting that reality. So they say, what are we going to do with those people who do not want to obey what we say? Because you always find those people. Okay? And they say, oh, that is very dangerous. So we're going to bring something that is very important. The doctrine of the big stick. That is daddy. You do not behave, we're going to hit you. We're going to kill you. We're going to torture you. We're going to do all kinds of things that we understand is necessary, so you do things the way we want you to do. And then, when they put all this together, they say, I don't want to feel guilty doing all these kind of things. Okay? Saying that Latin America is the backyard and this country belongs to us. Doing regime change, colonizing, doing invasion, stealing their resources, imposing an economic system that we call capitalism, and hitting them with a stick if they do not behave. Can we explain this in a way that we don't feel guilty? And someone say, ooh, I have an idea. Manifest destiny. Someone heard about this?
Manifest destiny.
What's that? What is manifest destiny?
We are the best, and it's just it's manifested. We are the leaders. We are God's people.
We are God's people. In other words, manifest destiny, the principle is, do we want to colonize? No. We want to do regime change? No. We want to steal resources? No. We want to kill people? No. But when God tells you to do something, you better do it because you're going to be in trouble with God. What kind of nonsense is that? But it's very powerful. This is the foundation, so you can understand all this so-called ethnocentric nationalism that we've been producing, going all over the places telling people, not only from a political perspective, we can tell people what the hell they're going to eat and how they're going to dress. And then comes my dear Trump. American first. I still have a difficulty what the hell is American first. First, when America was first, and in what was first, and for whom was first. Okay? So I'm still trying to get there. If you're already there, share something with me to see if you can help me, because I do not understand what the hell. Because the more I look at him and all these rich people surrounding with him, that's how America is going to be first. I have a lot of problem with that thing. Okay? So, how is that with this administration things can be different? So let me tell you something that is happening with this administration. There is the recolonization of Latin America. In some way, they started neglecting their relationship with Latin America. And a lot of these countries started going left and left and left with a lot of progressive government. So yes, some of them were concerned but they were more concerned about what we're going to do in the Middle East and how we're going to kill all these Palestine and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And how we're going to hate all these Muslims because we don't like Muslims, okay? And how we're going to eliminate all these black people. And anything that do not smell Christian, we also going to eliminate that. So they were so busy doing those kind of nonsense that they neglected Latin America. Trump is very serious in the recolonization of Latin America. But then something came to the picture with Mr. Bolton in Florida. Okay? In some way, so-called experts in politics came up with this idea that to gain the re-election of Mr. Trump as president, you need to win Florida. And in order to win Florida, you need to bring back the Cuban issue. That no one want to talk about that, okay? And he went there, not any day, the day that they did the invasion Bay of Pigs, Bahia de Cochino. Okay, that it was a disaster. Okay, because the U.S. committed the same mistake that they've been committed through history. Never underestimate people's capacity to fight back. Never. Okay? You can have all the military equipment that you want. You can have all this human power. But when you are confronting people that make real what Martin Luther King showed from the beginning, because killing someone is not really difficult. That's why when it's time to celebrate Martin Luther King, I'm already sick and tired of that. I have a dream, because they've been putting my dear brother as a dreamer, and he was not a dreamer. He was a revolutionary. Okay? And we need to be very careful with this. I have a dream. Listen, he took the street. So there is something more than a dream. Okay? There's a quote that I like to use instead of I have a dream. If you do not have a reason to die for, you do not deserve to live. This is a man who put his life there. Not theory, action. If you, today, this time, in this place, you do not have a reason to die for, you do not deserve to live. And that's how the U.S. has been underestimating people. Okay, so you're going to Vietnam and all these places. They say, if you do not obey to us, we're going to kill you. And who the hell told you that you are going to kill me? I'm here to die for. The one thing you can confront is someone who is willing to die for whatever he or she believes. Okay? that can be your worst enemy. So it makes a lot of fun to me when they're trying to stop one of these Palestine kids with all these bombs, and they say, "Stop there or I kill you." Hello? What you think he's gonna do? He's gonna die and he's taking you with him. That is very dangerous, confronting people. And that is the biggest mistake that they've been committing all over the places. Okay? 1954, the Puerto Ricans nationalists went into the Congress, Blair House, and they started shooting all those USA Congress. Lolita Lebron was the leader. Okay? And when they say, "You came here to kill these Congress people," say, "Okay, hold it there. I didn't come here to kill them. I came here to die for my country because you've been colonizing my country. And I was expecting that you were going to kill me. That's why I got a one ticket, okay? Because I knew that I was not going back to New York. And I told my other fellow, we're not going back. They're going to kill us. We're not coming out of that building alive. But we're going to die for our country." So some people are ready to do that kind of sacrifice. So having this clear, what Bolton, under the orders of the Trump administration, did was the resurrection of Article 3 of the Burton Law. You have to go back into history and say 1994 was Torricelli. Torricelli came up with all this idea, how are we going to punish every single USA citizen who do business in Cuba? Because this is the way to stop them. This is the Torricelli law, okay? But then Herb Burton in 1996 said, what about if we go a little beyond that? And we punish every country. Hello? This is the US Congress sitting there saying or telling Canada, if you do business with Cuba, we're going to punish you. Telling Germany, if you do business with Cuba, we're going to punish you. So check the incredible capacity that these people have to make enemies from their friends. But what happened with that? They forgot about they are capitalist country. They are in the business of making money. They want to go to Cuba and make money. So at the end they say, okay, bury that stupid law because it's not going to let us make money. What Trump is trying to do is to bring back that Article 3 of the Herb Burton law to punish all these countries that are doing business with Cuba. Already, he just said that he was going to do it. It's not there yet. However, he's already in trouble with Canada, with England, with Germany, with Italy. Everybody's screaming all over the place. Do not interfere with my business. Okay? Do not. And he also in trouble with those business people from the U.S. that are doing business in Cuba. So, yes, we need to give the fight, but we are not going to be alone giving the fight because a lot of Trump administration friends are going to be fighting all this. Very careful with the blockade. You need to understand the purpose of the blockade. First, people, it's not an embargo. Embargo is when the two of us make a decision that you don't talk to me, I don't talk to you. I don't do business with you, you don't do business with me. Blockade is unilateral. Okay? The U.S. make that decision. And a decision that is very dangerous. Because the United Nations has been saying since 1970, the blockade is not only illegal, it's also immoral. Last year's vote was 178 countries saying, eliminate the blockade. 2 countries say the blockade stays. US and Israel. They like to go together. Okay? So the 2 of them, And how is that two countries, especially the U.S., who drag Israel into that kind of situation, how is that this country there to challenge the whole United Nations saying, mind your own business? Okay? Just like that. Mind your own business. What kind of respect is that for the international community? But they continue punishing Cuba. Why? Well, I used to believe that it's not correct when we say that Cuba is a threat to the U.S. And then I started looking at this more serious, and I say, it's a threat. How is, if you check the t-shirt that we have for this caravan, how is that this small island in numbers per capita have more doctors than the U.S.? How is that they have more teachers? How is that they invest more than 55% of the national budget in medical and educational service? We have 3%. Okay? 58% for the Pentagon. That's where we put the money. Okay, so that shows you where is that we have the priorities. Leadership problem. How is that this country, when it comes to deal with literacy, is doing much better than what we do in the U.S., one of the richest countries in the world, when it comes to deal with money? But that is not a problem for us. It's not an issue. We don't care about that. And on top of that, my friend, we blockade this country. We do terrorist action against this country. We kill more than 4,000 people. That's more people than die in the Twin Towers. And nobody care about this reality. And they can say, we gonna hate this country. And they do not say that. And one day, giving a speech, my dear brother Fidel Castro, look at Lucio Walker, my mentor, and say he's talking about a land, this medical school. How is that they've been giving scholarship all over the places in the world? And they say, Lucio, do we have scholarship in the U.S.? He said, no. And why we don't have scholarship in the U.S.? I don't know. Check if we do not violate any law and we can give scholarship. IFCO got the great honor of interviewing people as a recipient of these medical school scholarships. This is one of the most powerful projects where a student from the U.S. that is not by capacity, that they are not getting into a medical school, it's a lot of other issues. They're not going to be accepted in a medical school in the U.S. So the last option is Cuba. That gives you the 7-year scholarship, tuition, books, uniform, accommodation, the 3 meals, and a stipend for 7 years.
But no debt.
And when you finish, what happens when you finish?
No debt.
There is no bank behind you because you own them money. And on top of that, you come back to the U.S. being bilingual. I like that part. Okay? So all these kids learn Spanish. And before they get here, hospitals are looking for them because it's all over the places that they are well trained, because they've been trained in dealing with people, not with research. That is one of the deficits that we have. We have incredible medical schools in the U.S., but we're still having that problem that it's more research-oriented, not people-oriented. By the way, in the U.S. medical school, in the 4th year, you start seeing patients. Do you have any idea in medical school in Cuba, when is that you start seeing patients? First year. Yeah, but can you go a little lower than that?
Oh, wow. First day.
First day. And you say, I'm lost. I don't know the language, because a lot of these kids do not know the language. They have to learn the language there. I'm not a medical doctor. Why are you throwing me in this emergency room where everybody's screaming, crying, they look so desperate, they look hopeless, so why you bring me here? Oh, very simple. You know how to touch people? You know how to smile? Can you go into hugging people? This is a medication. You start healing people there, because the purpose is to connect with people, not to disconnect from people. And that makes you more human. Instead of moving to the other sidewalk, when I see the homeless person, the poor guy, the one that is begging there, panhandling. No, instead I go straight and look at that person in the face. Doesn't matter, I don't have any money. Why I can't look at that person in the face, giving it a smile, saying good morning. I don't have money today, but I want you to have a beautiful day. Why is that I need to look to the other side? Or they humanize this person. Make that person invisible. So that is the biggest training in that medical school. Okay? It's excellent. We have 175 students already graduated from the ELAN in the US. And it's a top secret. No one wanted to publish an article about this. We've been trying with this mainstream newspaper, say something, because if we're going to quantify how much money the Cuban Revolution put into educating these kids, they're not telling the USA government, give me that money. They're not telling the family, give me that money. They have a moral contract with the Cuban Revolution. Not a legal contract, a moral contract. What is a moral contract? We hope when you become a medical doctor and you go back to your country, you do not commercialize with medicine. You remember that you became a doctor to save people's lives. Not to sit down there that if they don't have an insurance, I'm not going to take care of you. If you don't have any money, I'm not going to see you. That is not correct. Okay? You are educated to impact people's lives. It's a moral contract. Can the Cuban government go against you if you do not do that? No. You with your conscience, okay? They can't stop you in that kind of reality. So let me start getting closing so I can go into specific questions. One of the things that we've been saying, okay, is that in the recolonization of Latin America, you need to understand that the three headaches that this administration have at this moment is Cuba, Venezuela, and Nicaragua. And they're running a campaign, okay? Last night I was reading popular support for Macri, the president of Argentina, is 3%. It came out again 3%. That is not in the newspaper. Why is not in the newspaper? Because we support that government. It's happening the same with Brazil. It's happening the same with Colombia. There is a disaster going on in my country, in Puerto Rico, after Maria. Not because Maria, the hurricane, was so intense. It's because the colonial project, the makeup, the mask that they've been put into this colonial project came down with Maria. Nobody gave a damn shit about my country. 1 million people already coming out, and it's not in the newspaper. It's a country in a political and economic crisis. It's different from Venezuela, but Venezuela is in front pages every day. But not my country. Look at what's going on in the Dominican Republic. What's going on in Haiti. And it's not in the newspaper. This Central American country, Honduras, you have El Salvador. What's going on there? But we keep it secret. You see? We don't want people to see that. Why? Because we always going to tell you that it's about human rights and democracy that we are concerned. We don't care about that. And if we care about that, so let's start doing something here. Because how is that you're running all this separation of family in that border and children are dying? People are dying in that border. This is the most inhuman policy that you can imagine. This is not correct what we're doing. All this prison industrial complex incarcerating black people, Latino, and now the new modality is incarcerating women. That used to be that we do not do that. Now, women are going up more than 300% in the prison population. When you look about the issue of class struggle in the U.S., yes, we have all this povertization of blacks and Latinos. We understand that. But I can take you places in the South where you're not going to find one single black person, and everybody there is poor. They don't have money to survive. And every single person who is in the prison happens to be white. Because when we do the analysis, we need to go beyond race, need to go beyond ethnicity. We also need to bring what we are so scared to deal in this country, class struggle. This is a capitalist society. That's why Cuba intimidates us with this socialist project. We don't like this. This is not a good example to see. We don't like people going there and coming back with all these bad ideas that it's possible to have free medical care. Ooh, no, this is very dangerous. Don't let people go there coming back with all these stupid ideas. It's the same with Cubans in Cuba. People go from the outside telling Cubans in Cuba, if you get rid of the government, we're going to give you this. And Cubans in Cuba say, oh, that looks very nice. Can I get that without losing what I have? No, you have to lose what you have. No, thank you. That sounds very attractive, but I don't want to lose what I have. Okay? I don't want to lose what I have. So let me close with this so I can start a question. There's a friend of mine who wrote an article in a journal of medical school. He's a doctor. He went to a countryside in Cuba, and he's saying, well, I was there in countryside just to see how far the revolution is being going. And it's a very poor community. And I was thirsty, and I said that someone can give me water. So this guy told his daughter, take him home and give him water. And when I got inside the house, the floor of the house is the grounds there. There's no floor with wood. There's a wood. And the young lady got a paper from her notebook and started making a cup. Yeah, you know how to make a cup with those paper, no? I used to do that when I was a child, okay? So she started making, they said, oh, wow, so poor that they don't have the glass, a cup here. And then she gave him water. I drank my water, he said. I gave her a smile and said, thank you. She gave me a smile, and she had braces. Priorities in a revolution. Thank you very much. Question? Okay, I want to entertain some questions, specific questions that you can bring if you have. Please. Yes.
Thank you so much, Reverend Barrios. I wanted to ask if you could talk to us a little bit about what these caravans do. Why it's important for people in the U.S. to be in solidarity with Cuba through these caravans, and your relationship with Pastors for Peace?
Well, one of the things that, because we're not doing the humanitarian aid anymore, we're still reevaluating what can we do. It was so expensive going into Canada or going into Mexico and then transporting the humanitarian aid. So we're not doing that anymore, so that's why you do not see all these tensions going on with that humanitarian aid. But we go in there without a license, and they know that. They're always waiting for us when we come back, okay? And we challenge them, saying, well, this is a people-to-people relationship, and love is our license. You do whatever you have to do, and I do whatever I need to do. So that is one. But one of the things that we learn through the experience is what the USA government really hate is not us going to Cuba or passing humanitarian aid. It's doing this. We've been analyzing people in the Secret Service, CIA, SBI. They hate that we had the capacity to organize routes to go into 48 cities, doing presentation during the day or the evening, radio talk, media, and raising consciousness. Because you know that one of the biggest issues that we have in the U.S. is that we have no idea what the hell is going on in the U.S. Forget about when we talk about another country. And the political system that we have get a lot of benefit from that. For me, it's very painful because I'm part of this country. It's very painful when I travel, especially to Latin America or Europe, and people making fun of us that we are so ignorant people when it comes to the knowledge. And it's painful because it's a reality. Okay? It's a reality. When you look at, let's say, for example, I was sharing with some of my students at John Jay, where I've been teaching for 30 years, the two top written magazines to produce knowledge in the U.S. Anyone here want to guess? Who are those two? Because that's a reflection of our values. Time?
Newsweek.
Newsweek? Enquirer is the number one.
Yeah.
You heard about Enquirer? Huh? Do you know who is the second one? Oh, I like that one. Penthouse. A porno magazine. It's the second one. Once you look at this, that's when you say, let me evaluate the values of these people. Oh, that is wrong. Okay? And then we had this unique way to produce news by think tanks. And these people who sit there, they read news. And they always use the same parameter because it's a male chauvinistic patriarchal society, and old men, middle-aged men like me, that represent wisdom. A middle-aged woman, she's old. Send her home. She's not supposed to be there. So a middle-aged man needs to be surrendered by a young woman. And always try to get the black guy in sport. I don't know why. Okay? And these people are getting millions of dollars for reading. Reading. And this is why I still say that it's like it was yesterday that Noam Chomsky wrote that book, Manufacturing Concerned.
That was Edward Herman who was the main writer, not Chomsky.
Oh, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's give credit to it. Say the name again.
And Professor Edward Herman, who was a truly wonderful person. And if you look at the titles on the book,
Uh-huh.
his name is first and Chomsky's second.
Okay.
Chomsky was just a minor advisor.
So let's give credit to whom deserves the credit. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Okay? This manufacturing concern is incredible. You remember when we gave all those ideas about going into Iraq? And we were lying to people, weapons of mass destruction. They're going to use those weapons against us, and all that kind of nonsense that at the end, they were lying to us. Look at what's going on with Iran right now. They don't want to deal with the facts. Bolton already said, because do we have facts that it was Iran? We don't need it. We know it was Iran. Hello? We don't need it. In other words, God told me that it was Iran. And I believe God. Okay? So for us going around doing exactly what Paulo Freire recommended in Pedagogy of the Press, the whole process of conscientization. Because we get frustrated when we want to mobilize people, and people do not want to come out. Do you know that the first step is that we need to awake people? And after we awake people, we need to politically organize people. And once we politically organize people, we can mobilize people. But we get so desperate that we want to mobilize people, and people have no idea, why the hell I need to go there? People do not feel that I've been oppressed. I talk to students where I've been teaching about working class. They say, who are those? They say, who are those? You're a working class. What the hell is wrong with you? Oh, I'm a working class? No, I'm not a working class. Ah, come on, give me a break. So that is what we like to do. Going places, building this kind of network and educating people in a reciprocal way. Because that's what Paulo Freire always said. It's not that someone stand here and I know everything. No, I facilitate the discussion because people come here with knowledge and experience, and they have something else to share. So that's why we do it. We're trying to go back because we used to do it 2 times in a year. And one going to Cuba, but twice educating people, going all over the places. We did something like that in Vieques to get the USA Navy out of Vieques. You know what we did in the campaign? If I'm talking to you for more than 3 minutes, doesn't matter we are in the bus, we are in the train, we are in the bank line, we are in the bathroom line, I don't care. If we're already talking for 3 minutes, I'm going to talk to you about Vieques. Okay, because we're talking too much already. So that was a very powerful campaign, and they told us, you're never going to get the Navy out of Vieques, Puerto Rico. Never, never underestimate people's capacity to fight. Okay? Do not commit that mistake. So we go out also building hope, because there's a lot of people that really believe we can't do anything. This is not going to change. We need to start changing that stupid idea. Because the oppressor, that's exactly what they want you to believe. That it's not possible to do something. That another world is not possible. That something better is not possible. So I have good news for you. It is possible. It starts with you. Okay? So start today. Another question?
To me, Cuba stands for human rights. The right to health care, the right to education, the right to housing. But the United States and even NGO organizations say that Cuba violates human rights. So where does the confusion lie, or where is the difference in that narrative?
Well, I always have 2 ways to explain that. So stay with me. One is, I always start very sarcastic. There is human rights, there is torture, there is assassination in Cuba. Yeah, in Guantanamo.
Yeah.
Okay? This is going on in Guantanamo. Oh, I thought you were going to say something. I knew that you were going to say something. However, I don't want you to get out of here thinking that I came here to say that Cuba is paradise. I hate, including people in the left, when they say that everything in Cuba is perfect. I'm a strong supporter of the Cuban Revolution. And I tell you that it's not correct to say that it's perfect. So, I'm saying Cuba is not paradise, neither hell. The way fanatics in the left and the right are trying to portray it, there is nothing wrong in Cuba. And the other, there is nothing good in Cuba. Hello? That's not correct. Okay? Check here some of the literature. Let's say, for example, Cuba is one of the top countries in this hemisphere fighting racism. You expecting that I'm going to say that there is no racism in Cuba? There is racism in Cuba. They're still fighting, okay? And you need to recognize that much better than what we're doing. Look at the reality in this past constitution, having six vice presidents, 3 of them black, 3 of them women. Very interesting situation. 60% of the Congress people happen to be women. That's something that say they're working on that. That allow you to say that there is no sexism in Cuba? No, don't go there. They're still fighting that. There is a literature here, LGBTQ rights in Cuba, which is incredible. Okay? Are we going to say that there is no homophobia or heterosexism? There it is. They're fighting that. You see, you need to learn how to evaluate the situation and see how serious people are trying to eradicate a phenomenon that do not allow us to become better people. Okay? So I'm always scared when people take that kind of position. Especially the biggest campaign is that there is nothing good coming out of Cuba. There's a lot of good things. Like, for example, I was talking to some friends last week about the whole issue of gender change in Cuba. Do you know that it's the only country in this hemisphere that is free?
Yeah.
Free. Okay? All the rights. The big debate in the new constitution was the same-sex marriage. It didn't pass, however. It was a very interesting debate. And now, when you analyze the situation, the biggest campaign came from the church against. Okay? And most of the campaign was coming directly from the U.S. mainstream churches who put money there, intimidate them. We're not sending you money if you accept that new law there. Okay? And our way to educate people is, this is a civil right. Okay? This is something that people earn because they are citizens, not because they believe in God or do not believe in God. Keep God for the place of worship. In your place of worship, whatever you want to do, then do it there. But you can't just come out and do something like that, taking rights away from people. But remember that we did that in the U.S. with women? And they were not voting. And it was in the Constitution. It was not allowed to vote. Remember that we did that with black people? Huh? So now the new issue is LGBTQ rights all over the places. My friend, write it in some place there that we told you this. Once we solve this issue, we're going to find another one. We are in the bad habit of finding things that separate us instead of finding things that bring us together to become better people. Okay? So that's why we like to go around Okay? Something that you can also do in your place. So you can invite people in your neighborhood to your house and see a video, or check the literature and have a conversation about Cuban issue and let Cuba live in peace. Okay? That's a good topic. So, yes, that's why we do it. One more question. Yes, the last one.
Does Cuba have the right to defend itself against U.S. covert programs?
Oh, yes.
Claiming that they're going to bring democracy and human rights to Cuba?
First, what the U.S. is doing is the violation of a country's sovereignty. The United Nations has been saying this for years, and the Cuba has been denouncing. Okay, something that if another country dare to do something like that, we're going to say no. Remember when Rafael Correa came to power in Ecuador, Mantra military base in Cuba? I'm sorry, in Ecuador. Before he said, get this military base out of here, he went very sarcastic to the U.S. You know what I want to do, my dear friend? I want to open an Ecuadorian military base in Florida.
Yeah.
Why the hell you need to open a military base in Florida? That's exactly what I've been asking. Why the hell you have one here? So yes, country has the right to defend itself, and people too. Okay? Thank you very much. You've been great. Thank you for your love.